Well, hi there, and welcome back to Margot and me. Today was our trip from Whitehorse to Dawson City, day 35, a full 5 weeks on the road. What a trip it was. Man, it was gorgeous. It's a hard road, a little bit. It was beautiful. I'm gonna just keep saying this over and over again. My words, and not even these videos, are going to be able to capture the scenery of this trip. The vastness of the Yukon is astounding. Ran into some rain a little bit, just about every day this last week almost, and it's been cool. It was okay. We handled it just fine. I was worried about this particular ride for days. I bet you 4 or 5 nights in a row I wasn't sleeping well because I was super excited about this road and getting to Dawson City, but I was nervous about it because I kept hearing so much about how terrible it was and how impassable the road was, from only 2 sources, but I checked in with dozens of other sources, literally dozens of other sources, and they all said, yeah, it's fine. Pay attention, keep your eyes up, moderate your speed, you'll be fine. And I did, and we were. There were some rough patches, absolutely. You'll see some of those coming up. But man, the scenery was incredible. There is so much water that drains out of this territory. It's incredible. There's rivers and lakes and so much going on here. The road itself wasn't overly technical, other than some of the potholes and frost heaves and so on that you had to manage. But that part wasn't bad. The scenery, I can show this scene over and over again. You kept coming over these rises and watching all this water and vastness of forest and mountains in the distance over and over and over again. I believe this is the Yukon River winding its way north as it drains into the Bering Sea finally. Again, the road wasn't overly technical, but a great ride. Far easier than I worried about, which is a lesson I need to keep remembering. You can only ride today's ride today and not worry about tomorrow's ride. I worried about this ride for I don't know how long. And if I would have just let that go, I would have been more present in the previous rides and enjoyed this kind of scenery then. And I knew I would have been able to handle this ride because I ride within my limits. And Margot is just such a good bike. But today, this particular ride, I was really in the moment, enjoying what was in front of me. And so much was gorgeous. Again, the videos and the words are never going to capture it. Even here, the vastness, that forest stretched for a couple dozen miles before it got into the foothills in the background. Just absolutely stunning. We had to do a little work. Like I said before, Margot showed off a little bit. She handled it just fine. Some of the work came here when we got to some of the big construction pieces. This was a 15-minute ride with a pilot card, and they kept wetting down this gravel where they were doing the construction. And it was the wetting down that was the worst part, because that got a little greasy. You can see just about right here, back end's going to start to kind of slip out to the left a little bit, just right about, no, missed it. Anyway, it slid a little, and we just walked right through it. Margot thought, that's not a problem. Found my path, it was hard packed enough, we made it through. And then we got back. The scenery, like this kind of stuff, just really, really pretty. Again, I can't remember what river that is. That stretches out on the other side. Just a view forever into the distance. Absolutely incredible. I felt really, really small. I feel really, really small here in the Yukon. This wilderness is so vast. I have to do a little work, and here's a lesson I've learned about some things. I think this applies to biking. If you look at the hazard, you're going to hit the hazard. It's important to identify it, and as soon as you see it, you gotta look where it is you want to go and not at the problem. You'll see here I'm moving in and out of the lane, left and right, because there are potholes, some pretty deep ones. If you see them ahead of time, you know where they are. The problem is, this goes for driving a car too, especially on a bike. If you look at the hazard you're trying to avoid, you're going to hit it. And I think that same metaphor applies in life, and I've been reflecting on that a little bit. I get worried about things, and I keep thinking about them, and get anxious about them, and yeah, I'm going to hit them if I keep thinking about them and focusing on them so much. But when I focus on where it is I identify, you have to identify the hazard. You have to know that that's a problem and I can't go there. But once it's identified, stop looking at it and look where you want to direct your attention. In fact, biking, I'm still thinking about this about life. In biking, you don't even look at necessarily where you want to go. You identify the hazard, know where it is, and then keep your eyes up and way ahead in the distance and let your peripheral vision guide where it is you want to go in the short term, and keep your eyes focused on that long-range project. You can see here Margot was just kind of showing off a little bit. Man, she was just dancing around some of these potholes and problems. Didn't even blink. Real easy ride. So that part of what I was worried about really isn't a problem. Partly because it's a bike, and bikes are super nimble and can zip around anything most of the time. Just got to keep your eyes open and ahead on the road. Maybe the same thing for life. Other than that, got back to some more gravel, and whoosh, we're only supposed to go 50 kilometers an hour, and I was doing that in third gear, finding my lane where it was hard packed, and somebody passed me on the left, which is super dangerous, and was pelting me with gravel the whole time they passed. And before I knew it, someone came by on my right, which is not only incredibly insensitive, but illegal and very dangerous. I'm not sure if they knew that I actually got their license plate now on my video. And then this happens. Here comes the truck who's spraying water on the road. Thank goodness he turned it off for the moment he was passing me, or turned it down, not back onto this greasy mud. Dry gravel is one thing. You can find my way through that. This wet, dirt, muddy, mucky was not my favorite. I wish that wouldn't have happened. Margot didn't mind. She walked right through it, and we just found our way through. So I'll have to go back through this on Thursday, and that'll be okay. We'll manage it. But after that, the road was just unbelievably pretty. Again, just the hugeness of where we are is incredible. So we got to Dawson on Sunday afternoon, checked in at the place here. Now, I've been riding for 7 days in a row, up to Sunday afternoon. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are all days off of the bike, except maybe for a short day trip to a tourist attraction close by. Other than that, I'm off the bike until Thursday morning. Thursday morning, we'll ride back to Whitehorse, spend 3 nights there, enjoy that town a little bit, and then find my way home. So we're in Dawson City now. Did some neat things here. This is already the end of Monday when I'm speaking this. Went on a historic walking tour of the town, visited Robert Service's cabin, and heard some of his poems recited. Many of you will remember the cremation of Sam McGee, or some of his other ones, The Spirit of the Yukon. Really, really cool poet, one of my favorites. Had a couple of his poems memorized when I was in school. But checked into this neat little old Victorian kind of hotel called Bombay Peggy's here right in downtown Dawson City. Well, downtown is kind of a stretch. There's only 1,500 people who live here year-round. But really neat little spot to be in a cute little room, enjoying my time here and beginning to look forward to coming back home. The ride home will be enjoyable, and it'll be nice to come back and see all you guys again. Anyway, thanks for joining here on Margot and me, and we'll see you all again next time.